Fox Valley Voice.
1, 2, 3.
It's like trying to build up your tolerance to iocane powder.
Sniff this, but do not inhale.
So we're enjoying a little cocktail. No, it's not a cocktail.
It's not a cocktail.
It's whiskey.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
You don't have to dress it up.
You're a gracious host. Yeah, I'm having Knob Creek neat, and it's doing it for me.
I'm sipping on a little bit of Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
It's been my standard go-to, but I enjoy all of the brown liquors.
And we are in a very magical, special place. Would you like to describe where we're sitting right now?
I don't know about magical, but I do enjoy this space. It's this is Beardsgaard Barbers. It's my barbershop that I own with my wife in Batavia, Illinois. It's a very comfortable space.
I will go ahead and say magical. I know you
I
feel
appreciate that.
like that would be too much.
I can't
coming
say it
from
because
you.
if I say it, then it's like I'm bragging about it.
Right.
I feel like I don't want to brag about it.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the fact that other people come in and they say that it's magical and amazing and wonderful and comfortable, and they like coming in here to hang out and get their hair cut or sometimes just shoot the breeze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, I was just leaving the house on my way to come here, and my son had some friends over for a pool party because it's hot.
It's very hot.
It's warm. And I was saying bye to everybody, and I said, yeah, I'm going to record a podcast over at Beardsgaard. And one of the young ladies that was there said, you go to Beardsgaard? My dad goes there. And I said, yes, I'm going to Beardsgaard.
So we have like a running phrase that we refer to a lot in the shop called the Batavia Triangle. Like everybody knows everybody, but not because of anything particularly us related. It just happens that they show up and they're here. We've had, coworkers, brothers that have come in and not known that the other one also had an appointment.
Oh, and they show up at the same time?
Yeah,
okay.
Same time or like right around the same time. Like, oh, I didn't know you go here. Yeah, of course I do.
So then that becomes an extra level to their coworker relationship, right? They probably didn't even like each other before that.
Maybe.
And now they're brothers in Beardsgaard.
Yeah.
You should come up with some kind of a crest or something, brothers in Beardsgaard.
Ooh. I mean, we have bumper stickers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can't wear a bumper sticker on your forehead, though. I mean, you could. You could.
You totally could. It just doesn't have the lasting effect.
Right. Or not quite as stylish or socially acceptable.
Whatever. There's no rules.
You believe what you want to believe, man. Yeah.
I'm eventually going to become that guy that's just walking around town in a cloak. I want to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think cloaks need to come back into fashion.
Okay. Cloak,
yeah. They're very functional. It's like a nice overcoat. Keeps you warm.
And?
Well, I mean, it just looks like you're coming right out of a fantasy novel.
You already
That's
look
my
like
dream.
that, man.
I wish that I could live in Middle Earth. I think that's one of the reasons I like Batavia so much. It has kind of this shire feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're river folk now.
Yeah. Well, and the shop is the hub of that activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right in the historic downtown part of Batavia.
Yeah. It's been amazing how just explosive your impact on this area has been. I'm sure, and I think I've heard you say before that you and Natalie have kind of came up with this long-term plan of how this was going to unfold.
Yes.
And how much more quickly things have progressed.
Could not have anticipated this. I mean, we wish, we hope. Anytime you do a project or a labor of love, you always hope for the best possible outcome. And it's been unbelievable and very humbling in many ways to be here and to open up a business and something that we care about, and to see this like almost loyal, but not loyal, just like an appreciative exuberance of people that come in and support us. Not just clients, but also like people within the community, other business owners, like everybody that works and lives around here. Everybody's so cool. Everybody's so laid back and happy, and they just want the best for everyone.
Yeah. So one of the words that I've been using a lot lately is authenticity. And I think that is a huge aspect of what you guys are doing here. People, obviously when it comes to your industry, getting your hair cut.
Yes.
There are lots of options.
Many
options.
Yeah.
And many of those options cost a lot less. You guys aren't crazy expensive, but you can go somewhere very close for a little bit less money.
Sure.
But, the key is that there's no other place that you can go to get the experience you get when you come here.
Sure. Yeah.
And that is the key. That is what people feel when they walk in here and when they sit in your chair and when they get their, you guys take, so much time, and you have super high skill level, and this place is just amazing. Just looking, you've got all kinds of decorations on the wall, and you've got murals, and you've got a welcome sign in Elvish that probably only you and Natalie can read. I don't know.
Oh, no,
has
there
anyone,
are many people that can read that.
I mean, but have they?
A few, maybe not specifically translated it properly, but they can look at it and...
My microphone is slipping.
Uh-oh.
All right, we're going to edit this part out.
Yep. There you go.
I'm going to fire this microphone stand.
Just yell at it later.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to make you uncomfortable by bragging about your shop too much. So
you can brag all you want. I'll just sit here and blush.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but I'm blushing.
Yeah. Blushing on a podcast is doesn't really come through.
No, it doesn't.
But but we're sitting here, and it's been how long now since you've opened?
We're going to be coming up on 3 years in September.
Oh my goodness, you're kidding!
Yeah,
I swear you just had your anniversary party, right?
Right. That's what it feels like.
Eesh.
I mean, it feels both like yesterday and forever. Mm-hmm. It's this weird sense that time doesn't exist.
Well, and that goes along with being a magical place where elves and stormtroopers hang out.
Yes, all are welcome.
And I'm looking at...
like the island of misfit toys.
Yeah, Christopher Walken is always hanging out here in portrait form.
In portrait form.
We need to get him out here.
That would be amazing.
Have you reached out yet?
Not in any official capacity. But if you're listening, Christopher, Mr. Walken, that would be absolutely splendid.
Dude, what if you could give Christopher Walken a straight razor shave?
I think that would probably be like one of the most extreme honors ever.
You could just...
That would be my lifetime story.
You should probably just
one time
retire after that, right?
No, I would still continue cutting hair, but I would tell everybody.
Every single person.
He'd be like, "Yeah, we know. Shut up."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's make that happen. Someone out there knows someone who knows Christopher Walken. So let's get him in here.
It just adds to the Batavia Triangle.
Yeah. And if we could make that happen on a Wednesday,
it would be perfect.
But we'll take any day, probably.
Any day. Absolutely any day. As long as we're open. I mean, I would totally come in at like 3 a.m. if that's the only time he was available.
Mm-hmm. Isn't there a story about John F. Kennedy either being in this building or very close to it?
I don't know 100% if he was ever inside the building, but back in the day, this shop, 117 South Batavia Avenue, was known as Johnson's Drug Store. It was owned by a man named Bert Johnson, hence Johnson's Drug Store.
Very catchy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a druggist. I believe that was the old term.
A druggist. An apothecary?
Sure. Something of the sort. People would come in and get their medicines and their soda from the soda fountain.
Mm-hmm. They would probably
from the soda jerk. I'm just assuming that they had a soda jerk.
A jerk.
Operating.
Yeah, most of those guys are jerks.
I think they were heroes out of their time.
All right. So anyway, yes, John F. Kennedy at Johnson's.
So the mayor was the one that relayed us the story, Mr. Schielke.
Yes, His Honor, Jeff Schielke, knows quite a bit about local history and lore.
He has expounded on that many times.
About how John F. Kennedy got drugs.
Just anything about Batavia.
Oh, okay.
You can tell him an address and he'll tell you the history of that entire building. It's impressive.
You should probably have him on your show.
I might. I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Bert was working one day, and this was in 1962, when Kennedy was on the campaign trail, coming down Batavia Avenue, of all places, and stopped to give kind of an impromptu campaign speech to a bunch of the like students and people that had gathered along the street to see him. It started raining, so they decided to pull his car a few blocks up or south of where they were to put the top up, and Bert noticed him outside the window. And the crazy part was, and I think this just furthers the Batavia Triangle, Bert Johnson was part of the PT boat that helped rescue Kennedy in the war.
No way.
That's why he recognized him. So he came out and said, "Hey, Mr. Kennedy, do you remember me?" I'm assuming he said yes, as the story goes, as told by Bert, which was one of his favorite stories to tell people.
Well, sure.
And they caught up for a few moments while they gathered their things and prepared to move on from the space. So at the very least, he stood like right outside the front door, which I think is amazing. My dad thought that was pretty neat too. He was a history teacher for many, many years.
Now we need to add Christopher Walken to that list of.
I think we should.
Of very important people to hang out,
or any interesting, cool people that exist in a public light would be fun.
Yeah. Or any cool people from anywhere for any reason, right? You're probably pretty open
you're
to
here.
that. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think
I
you're
don't know
cool
about that. Well, thank you. Thank you. I am pretty magical. See? Yeah, that didn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right when you say it about yourself.
I had to try it. It turns out you're right.
I try to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't often happen.
Nah. So we've been talking, you and I, about collaborating on a show, and the premise of which is that, number one, you have a really cool shop. Number two, really interesting people hang out here.
I get to meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the nature of being a barber. You get people from all over that'll come in and get their hair cut. And I've met a lot of, people who work in the area, people who live in the area that just have really interesting stories. And I want to kind of expand that a little bit. You know, I only get so much time with each person in the chair, you know, whatever that time is that their service takes. Whether it's 10 to 15 minutes or sometimes up to like maybe an hour. And a lot of the times I feel like I want to keep talking to that person. And I was like, I want to know more about your life. Like, tell me more. Let's hang out sometime. Like, I'm hard pressed for time, which is the burden of a business owner. But that's what I want to do with this. I want to invite some of those people back and get to talking to them, maybe have a drink, maybe not have a drink. It doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. But I want to continue having it. It helps. Absolutely. it lubricates the throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was our warm-up word before we started?
There were a few. Brontosaurus. Muckluck. It's a type of boot worn by the Inuit.
Right. We won't have to beep that out. It sounds like it could be.
It's not. It's not a
cuss
name
word.
Of a people.
Muckluck.
I told you it's fun to say.
It is. Yeah. So, so that is part of the reason why I started my podcast years ago, Fox Valley
Stories.
Boys. Yeah.
You like stories?
Just running into really cool people that have awesome stories, but it's really awkward if you don't know those people and you say, could we hang out for an hour? And you tell me your life story.
And I'm going to record it and then broadcast it.
Well, that part actually works. It's the part where if you don't have a podcast,
right,
and you want to invite a complete stranger over to your house to talk for an hour, that
can be construed as slightly creepy.
Yeah,
at best.
So yeah, that was part of the reason why I started my show. So it's only natural for you to want to do the same thing, except you have just a steady stream of people, you know, and you know, when they're just sitting in the chair, I'm sure
I've cast a wide net.
Yeah. And it's kind of natural for people to just maybe want to start talking while
it's
while they're sitting in the chair.
One of the reasons that I enjoy doing what I do. I mean, yes, making people look good and make people feel good about the way they look is absolutely part of this, but it's also a way for me as a very extroverted type of person to just like hang out with people and meet all kinds of people without having to go and find them and coax them into telling me their stories. Like, they just come here and it's way more relaxing and less threatening, and I get to do one of the other things that I love, which is cutting hair.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been cutting hair, Tyler Anderson of Beardsgaard Barbers?
Well,
if you're just joining us,
if I'm just joining,
no, I'm talking to the listeners now.
Oh, well, I went to barber school I started barber school in the October of 2012, and graduated in June of 2013, and I got my license. So I've been cutting for, if you want to include school as part of that time, about 5 years. Mm-hmm. Coming up on 5 years. But more like 4, like professionally.
Okay.
Legally. Legally speaking. I've only been cutting hair as a barber since I've been licensed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So about 4 years.
How long did you feel it took you before you were truly comfortable and confident in your skills as a barber?
It's a weird question. Like from my standpoint, not just as a question, but from the way I think of it. Every time somebody gets in my chair, it's a chance for me to practice and to get better. Mm. So every time somebody sits down in my chair, I have another haircut under my belt or another service under my belt. So I'm constantly getting better. And I'm always pushing myself to continue to grow and learn and hone my craft, because it is a craft more than anything else. A lot of people will think, you know, well, you do hair, that's like an art form. And for me, I feel like it's more like I'm a technician. You know, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, and just learning how to really hone it and perfect that. So it's a constant practice for me.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, I feel comfortable doing it. I think if anybody came in that had hair on their head and needed me to do something for it, I feel like I could do something to make it look good. But as far as being proficient, I'm always learning.
Yeah, fair enough.
That one of the things my father always taught me. It's just, you're always learning. Everything, every day, you're always learning something new. Always strive to keep learning, because the day you stop learning is the day you die. I've always held that. So I like learning stuff, whether it's, specific to the shop or just life in general. I like doing projects, so I'm always learning about how to fix things at home. I feel like I've gotten really good at folding shirts.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
I pride myself.
Do you offer workshops?
Sure.
I feel like shirt folding is one of my all-time least favorite things to do.
I've come across many different ways of folding.
You're a student of the game.
Yeah. Natalie, my wife, my lovely wife, jokes all the time that, I get very perturbed if it's not folded right. Oh, no. And I will unfold it and refold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of that way with the loading of the dishwasher.
See, there's an organization to it. There's levels of obsessive compulsiveness. Because I'm not diagnosed, but I have tendencies.
Tendencies, sure.
Sure,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, I have tendencies. I like things to be very organized and neat, and for me, it helps me work better.
Yep. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
I did a lot of puzzles as a kid. I played a lot of Tetris.
You're a Tetris master, right?
No, not a master, but I really enjoy Tetris.
Mm-hmm. Until the shapes start piling up, and then it gets really stressful.
No, it gets bad.
Yeah.
I get very frustrated when that one piece doesn't fit quite right. No!
I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
I as well. Big Tetris guy. And Pac-Man as well.
Ooh, Pac-Man's fun.
Yeah.
I like games.
Yeah, so that actually segues quite nicely into another area of interest for you, and maybe something that will also be discussed on the show.
Most likely.
Gaming, tabletop games.
Yes.
Video
I'm
games?
A fan. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I grew up playing a lot of like Super Nintendo, a lot of Nintendo systems. Mm-hmm. We were a big Nintendo house. I got really into Legend of Zelda. As did my brothers and my father as well. We got my dad into Legend of Zelda.
Well, that's just smart. Yeah. Because then
he wants to buy the new one.
Right, yeah. Hey, Dad, you want to play some Zelda?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's day-long Zelda fest.
It would get to the point where the new system would come out, and he would buy us the system for Christmas, but then we would pre-order whatever the Zelda game was for that system for him. But the rule was that he had to play and beat it first before any of us got to play it.
Really?
Yeah. So it became like an evening ritual for us. We would sit around him on the couch while he played, and we would shout at it the way people shout at, football on the TV. No, go back in that room. No, go smash that pot. No, get the other guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
he would get mad, and we would, I mean, not mad, but he would get frustrated and stop it. Working on it.
That's actually better than watching a sporting event on TV, because you can yell all you want at those guys. They're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're sitting behind your dad while he's...
No, he still didn't listen. But I think in the spirit of things, that was my sports. Mm-hmm. Yeah, video games was my sports. I worked in a lot of bars and restaurants for years, and I knew sports just because I was there all the time. And we would have, Sports Center was on all the TVs or ESPN or whatever sports channels and games throughout the years. And I became kind of numb to it. I enjoy sports.
It didn't connect with you on a deeper level, though.
I didn't have like a desire to go out and continue watching when I was not at work.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was there and it was on, I would get into it, and everybody else was into it. So it was kind of me riding the wave of people that were there.
Yeah. Well, it's what it all boils down to is shared experience.
Yes, exactly.
And that just happens to be the most common, most easily found shared experience is a bunch of people watching a game together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
that's what I like. I like to share experiences with people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get a little bit of a connection, and maybe that can foster deeper connections with other people. I've had many friends over the years, and some of them I still talk to, some of them I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just part of life.
Yeah, you don't have to be best friends with everybody. Like
that would be great.
Actually, that sounds like a lot of work.
It would be a lot of work.
I think you just have a handful of best friends.
For best friends, yes.
Yeah, because
you only want a few like really close friends that you can like sit and confide in. But
right. Well, and not only that, but it's a two-way street. So you want to let these people know that if ever you need something, then you contact me and I'm there.
Yeah.
And you can't give that offer to just everybody.
Right.
Because then you're spreading yourself pretty thin.
It would be an amazing world if that's how it was.
Well,
it's a beautiful dream.
I think you can do that to a certain point. I mean, we certainly have a lot of people in this community who do a lot of volunteering
functionally,
and things like that.
It's just not something that can happen.
No. But, you get that 2:00 in the morning call from somebody. Hey, I'm in jail. Well, hopefully not.
Oh, God.
Or, okay, let's change it. Hey, I have a flat tire and I need you to come get me.
Right.
How about that?
Things like that.
Let's stay away from jail.
Right. I try to avoid jail at all costs. I've never been to jail, and I'm proud of that, and I would like to keep it that way.
Okay. Let's make that one of our goals for 2017. And
or
beyond.
Just lifetime goal.
Yeah, just stay out of jail.
Just stay out of jail. You don't do anything too stupid. You should be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. So obviously the barbershop and its contents and its clients are going to be a topic. Gaming
Absolutely.
is going to be a topic.
Yes.
What else? What else do you foresee for the future of your show?
People that work and live around town, people that I've gotten to know really well, they have some really spectacular talents, and I think that those should be shared more widely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of people that I'll run into at the shop and immediately think of somebody else that comes in. It's like, oh, you two should meet and get together because you would have a lot of really good things in common, and maybe that would birth something wonderful that could be put into the world.
So you're a connector.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to be.
We'll just do it.
Working on it.
Okay.
It's a slow process. It's very organic. You don't want to force it.
Yeah, you're right. People push back when you try to force them to do things.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I've been talking to you about doing a podcast for about 2.5 out of the 3.5 years you've been open. Or no?
Well, so not podcast specifically, but we've worked together.
We've done a couple of projects, yeah.
We've done a few things back in the day, in the early days when Colin was still here. We had our Treehouse episode, and we got that kind of up and off the ground. You were there for...
I was
an episode.
Fortunate enough to appear in the Treehouse.
It was a fun day.
Yeah.
It was a good evening.
And you guys are YouTube stars all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. The internet is a wonderful place where viral stuff just you don't know what's going to go viral.
Yeah.
It's
So
going to take off and
we should back up
get away from you.
for people who, the very few people who haven't seen the video.
Sure.
Because almost everyone else has. But
A lot of people.
So Natalie
Yes.
created a, well, I don't want to call it a how-to video. It's a, what would you call it? It was a submission for...
So there's a barbershop in Rotterdam called Skorum,
in Rotterdam,
Holland.
Holland, also known as
up in over in Europe.
the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're there. And they have their own brand called Ruzel. It's all their product line. And they were looking for people to become ambassadors to their brand. And because Skorum essentially translates to scumbags, they call their ambassadors scumbassadors. Because they're goofy like that.
So,
and we love
so
them.
clever.
We
So
love
clever.
them.
Yeah.
They're delightful people and a lot of fun to hang out with. And I really hope that we get a chance to go over and see their shop soon. It's on the docket. We're just trying to figure out schedules at this point.
Make sure you get some audio, would you?
Absolutely. There will be some audio and probably some pictures and maybe some video. I don't know how much of it will be shareable. But she does work with them as an educator for Ruzel. And part of the application process was that she had to make a video showing her doing a cut, using the product and explaining it. And it got shared. And now she's over 2 million views on the video, which is just insane.
2 million.
Over 2 million.
2 million views on the YouTube.
Plus.
Hopefully your expectations for this podcast are just a little bit lower.
I mean, I don't really...
I
really
feel
know if we could hit that number, but that would be really
Yeah.
neat.
I feel all of a sudden I feel an incredible amount of pressure to perform.
Don't feel that kind of pressure.
Yeah. That's incredible though.
It really is. I'm super proud of her.
And like, has anyone...
She might not believe me, but I am.
Oh, why wouldn't she believe you?
I don't know.
It's a husband-wife thing.
Yeah. That constant pessimism about ourselves.
No, it's more of because I kind of, my wife and I, we have this back and forth every once in a while where I will tell her something over a very long period of time, and then she'll say, "Oh, guess what? Guess what so-and-so told me?" And it's the exact same thing that I've been saying for them. But you know what it is? Sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else, because I think you feel like, oh, well, you're my spouse. You're supposed to say these things, these wonderful, awesome things about me because we're married. So when you hear it from someone who is not married to you, perhaps it means more. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh no, I don't get it either.
Yeah, but I think if somebody
That's just my theory.
If somebody says something good about you or gives you a compliment, I think you should just accept it and say thank you. Whether it's something that you would adhere with or enjoy, if it makes you feel good about yourself, or if you're doing something to make somebody feel good, then they should just say thanks and be done with it. If they don't know how to take it.
Yeah. I'm going to say thanks right now to Barber Dutch, who has been hanging out here and noticed that we were getting a little low on in our tumblers here. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
You are just fantastic.
Wow. That's service. See,
Thanks, buddy.
This is just indicative of the level of talent that you've brought in to the shop. Because you have expanded recently. We've
added a few new barbers to the staff, and I've been enjoying the company of all of them quite immensely. So they all bring something really great to the table.
Some inappropriate hand signals going on.
Very inappropriate hand signal. I'm glad we're doing this on audio only.
See, this is the beauty of this medium.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no video. Video is also more difficult to edit.
Right. Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
But not that you will stop doing video, because you guys are really good at it.
We're still going to do videos. We're...
killing pumpkins.
Oh, yeah. That's our bread and butter. So I don't even know if that's bread and butter. That's just something that we really enjoy doing. It started as a joke, too.
Oh, no. Yeah. The first one was just out in the back parking lot. Very low production quality.
Very low. I think we shot the entire thing within the span of an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. A little 5-minute video. Mm-hmm. It was just us goofing around because of a little quip. And it kind of
and now
snowballed.
3 volumes later.
And at least 2 more to go. I think we're going to do a 5-part total.
Oh, you have an arc. You have a story arc.
Yeah, the second one was more of just a good follow-up, and by the third one, we started thinking we should probably figure out like a good way to kind of cap that. Like it needs to have some kind of an end.
Okay. You want to avoid that, that thing that some shows do where they just go on too long and you're like, listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you should have just ended it when before you jumped the shark.
I feel like I've watched shows like that. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to be rude, but there are definitely some shows that I wish would have ended much sooner. But I kept watching them.
Yeah,
because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I
lost.
That maybe not entirely their fault. Writer strikes and things that happen.
And then, sadly, is the opposite situation where a show that should have gone on for much, much longer.
Yes.
But did not.
Firefly.
Hashtag Firefly.
For life. I actually have a tattoo of Serenity on my arm.
There it is.
And anybody who has been into the shop or has seen pictures of me within the last year or so has seen it.
It's a beautiful thing.
And I love it very, very much.
Actually, my family for Christmas last year got me the Firefly DVD.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I say DVD with a very heavy heart because it should be DVDs.
It should be.
Oh, man.
Should be.
Anyway.
Thank you, Joss Whedon.
Yeah, thank you. There was rumblings of a reboot of some sort here not too long ago. Did you hear anything about that?
I mean, it was kind of an open-ended thing to the cast saying if you guys are down for it and if Joss is down for it to come back and do some kind of a reunion reboot or some sort of whatever, but nothing's been set in stone, which you can't, you want to get your hopes up, but you know that you can't.
I'm not even. I mean, maybe for a brief moment when I saw that headline pop up in my feed.
Oh, my heart was a flutter.
Yeah. But then it was just one of those, somebody said something to someone. I'm like, okay, never mind. Forget about it.
But
until I see they're going into pre-production, then maybe I'll let myself get excited.
So I'm a fan of a lot of things, many, many genres. I try not to discriminate, but I'll give anything a chance. And if it doesn't grab me, it doesn't grab me. And that's just me. I definitely lean to the sci-fi side of things way more than I do fantasy. My wife is the opposite. Mm-hmm. She's more fantasy and a little less sci-fi.
Yeah, that's a nice balance, though.
It is a good balance. And we keep like bouncing back and forth and exposing each other to really cool storylines and concepts, which is a lot of fun for us.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you come to her and say, listen, I know you're not huge into sci-fi, but this,
like, you got to check this out.
You would really dig this. Like, this has some elements that
I got her into Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
Another one of my favorites. The original and the reboot. The reboot even more so. Out of shock. Like, normally the reboot is just kind of falls flat, but the reboot for that was fantastic.
Okay.
Really enjoyed that one.
Did you ever get into Dollhouse?
Yes.
that was spectacular as well.
Anything Joss Whedon.
Yeah, very short again.
And that's one that bridges the gap for both of us. Is we absolutely love everything that he's ever done.
So if Joss Whedon, if you're listening, you and Christopher Walken are driving down the road listening to our podcast.
Yeah, Joss and Chris. Hey, guys.
Stop by Beardsgaard Barbers, downtown Batavia, Illinois, and we will give you 10% off.
I might even just do that one for free. Like if you guys show up,
that was a joke.
I would feel so bad to charge you. Those are like hero level people, and I know that they're just people who exist in the world, but they've done such incredible things with their lives that like I would feel bad taking their money, even though they probably have a lot of it.
It's kind of like the interesting thing that happens to famous people is all of a sudden, now that you have all the money, everyone wants to give you stuff for free. Whereas back when you were a starving,
I mean, don't get me wrong,
actor,
I will totally charge them. And that's just
right. And then keep the money and then frame it and put it on the wall.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So we've set some pretty lofty goals for the show here.
I think it's a good high bar
to get Christopher Walken and Joss Whedon on the show.
Two of what will probably be a very long list.
Yes. And that won't be the only shows that we do.
Right. No, there'll be tons of them in between.
All right.
Or from here to there at the very least.
How about interaction? You want people to write into you and maybe ask some questions or share some stories with you that way?
Absolutely.
And then you can bring it up on the show.
Yeah, I'm not married to any particular format. Like, you don't have to be here in person to converse with me. If you want to send me an email or text, if you're one of the people that actually has my number, I'm not going to give it out on air just because I don't want to be bombarded with a ridiculous amount of texts from people.
People can send you messages through Facebook, however.
They can totally send me messages through Facebook.
So Beardsgaard on Facebook.
Tyler Anderson. I mean, I'm there. I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, Barber Beardsmith.
There you go. And we can link to all these in the show notes for this episode. So
totally.
Everyone can have that information.
Yeah.
You know what I would like for people to do is record, everybody pretty much has a sound recorder, or you can download a sound recorder on your phone, and then you can share it.
There's an app for everything.
There's an app for that. So, record either a short story or a question, and then send it via email to... What's the Beardsgaard email? Beardsgaard.
Tyler
at
beardsgaardbarbers.com.
There you go.
That is the most direct way that you can get in touch with me, via email. Without
divulging your personal account information.
Yes.
Or your social security number.
That's not going to happen.
I just saw someone posted a picture on Reddit saying... we better check and see if we're on this list. And it was a screenshot of a website that actually says, check and see if you are on, this particular list for telemarketers. And the way that you check is by entering in your credit card number and the 3-digit code
of the card.
Oh man. And then hitting submit. That's how you would check to see if you were on this telemarketing list.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone's going to fall for that.
I have a feeling there's a lot of people that probably fell for that. And I think it's upsetting that there's people out there who will prey on people like that. And they'll, oh man, that hurts. Yeah. That hurts my brain. I can't continue with that. No.
Should we just call it now?
Yeah.
All right. So, excellent. So this is episode 1.
Episode 1.
And I'm Jaime Gutierrez.
And I'm Tyler Anderson.
And stay tuned for more episodes from Beardsgaard Barbershop Away from
away
the chair.
from the chair.
Away from the chair.
Yeah, this is me away from the chair.
Yeah. You're
I'm
actually in a chair
I'm
right
in
now.
a chair,
But not your
but not my
barber chair.
chair. Yes,
Away from the chair.
away from the chair.
Step away from the chair.
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Fox Valley Voice.